Hi everyone, today we will be identifying and answering the essential question of how do we describe the likelihood of an event? So the likelihood of an event has to do with our experiments that we talked about yesterday in our last lesson about an investigation. The event is the collection of the outcomes. So this question simply means, how do we describe how often we would collect a certain part of the data? So let's talk about the word probability. The word probability is going to be a new word for our vocabulary. And probability of an event is a number that represents the likelihood that the event will occur. So probability is a number that describes how likely the event will occur. We can use fractions. We could use decimals. And we can use, percentages. Percentages. Can't spell. All right, percentages. We can use percentages. So probability is a number that describes how likely the event will happen. Okay, so let's talk about this as a scale. So when we're talking about likelihood, we are actually talking about a scale, like a rating that we're going to give our numbers. So we're talking about a rating of how likely something will happen when we look at probability. So on our scale, goodness, I was hoping I had a black pen, but apparently my black pen has gone missing. That's okay. All right, so we have a scale that looks like this. And on our scale, the middle of it, just like a number line, uses 0. 0 comes at the end. So think of this only as the positive number line. So 0 means that there is 0% chance of this happening. This is impossible. It's impossible that it could happen. Okay, so 0 and 0% chance, 0 decimal, 0 anything. It's absolutely impossible. In the middle, we have a chance that's equally likely to happen or equally not happen. And so this is considered 1/2 because it's half the line. So half, if we were to write this as a decimal, 0.5 or 50%. So this has an equal chance, equally likely to or not to happen. It can go either direction, okay? To or not to happen. All right, now at the very end of our graph, we have 100%, okay, 100%, or 1/2. We have, as a decimal, it's 1/2, and it has 100% chance of happening. So this green spot means that it is certain to happen. Certain to happen. So you have impossible. We have equal. Yes, it could happen. No, maybe not. And yes, 100% yes, it will occur. Okay, then we have two other spots. We have this one here, which is halfway between 50 and 100. This one is likely to happen. It's likely to occur. So that means that it has a 3/4 chance. It's 0.75, or it's represented as 75% chance of happening. And then down here at the bottom, we have unlikely to occur. They use yellow on their graph. I'm going to use this light orange that kind of looks yellow, hopefully. Hopefully it'll work. Right there. Okay, this one is unlikely. But there is a 25% chance it could happen. Oops, quarter. So a quarter, 0.25, or 25% chance. So there's a quarter chance, 0.25, or 25%. 0%, it's absolutely impossible. I should have written all these in red. Okay, I don't know if that makes it any better. But there we go. This is the scale that we're going to use when we talk about probability and the likelihood of an event happening. Okay? All right, let's check out our first example so that we can put this learning into practice. So it says, example A says to describe the likelihood when there's an 80% chance of rain, 50% chance of thunderstorms, and a 15% chance of hail. So this is the experiment here. There's an 80% chance of rain, a 50% chance of thunderstorms, and a 15% chance of, I am so sorry. That's my alarm to go take my medicine. And a 15% chance of hail. So it says there's an 80% chance of rain, a 50% chance of thunderstorms, and a 15% chance of hail. That is the experiment. Our job now is to answer these questions. What is the likelihood that there is rain tomorrow? Okay, that's our first question. There's an 80% chance of rain. So because 80 is closest to 75, it means that it is likely to happen. So likely that there will be rain tomorrow. So the likelihood is 75%, a 75% chance, right here, 80. So 80% chance, 80 is closest to 75. So rain is likely to occur. Rain is likely to occur. Okay, what about question number 2? Question number 2 says that there's thunderstorms. What's the likelihood of that happening? Well, let's use our data from here. It says there's a 50% chance of thunderstorms. So 50% chance means that it is equally likely to happen or not likely to happen. I feel like this is kind of blurry today. Let's see if we can sharpen this up. There we go. Okay, so it's likely to happen, but it's also unlikely to happen. So equally likely to or not to happen. So it's a 50% chance. So it's equally likely to and not to happen. Because it's 50% right here, 50% chance of thunderstorms. Okay, and then our last question that they're asking us, our very last question, says what's the probability of there being hail tomorrow? Hail. Probability of hail tomorrow? Well, it says a 15% chance. Okay, well this one's kind of challenging because it's halfway between 15%, right? So if we look at this, we're looking at 15%, which is right here in between 0 and unlikely. Well, it's moved past 0%. So we're going to go with 15%, and that's going to be closest to unlikely because it's in between. It's not 0, so it's not impossible. There is a percentage that it could happen, just 50%. So we're going to go with unlikely. It's unlikely to happen. It's, oh, you can't see it. It's unlikely to occur. My goodness, I'm just a mess today. Okay, let's do one more example of using this chart so that you can see it one more time in action. Okay, so on this one, we're going to use another example. And this example that we're using is example B. And example B says there is a 20% chance. There's a 20% chance of snow flurries. A 65% chance of rain, and a 50% chance of sunshine. So they want to know what is the probability of having the different types of weather. So the first question is asking what's the probability of having snow flurries? What's the probability of having snow flurries? The second question, what is the chance of rain? And question number 3 is going to ask, what's the probability of having chance of sun? Okay, let's go ahead and answer these questions using our chart. Okay, it says there's a 20% chance of snow flurries. So we're going to use our chart again. And 20% is closest to 25%. So that means it is unlikely to happen. It is unlikely that we will have snow flurries tomorrow. So 20% is closest to 25%, so it is unlikely. Unlikely to occur. Chance of rain, ooh, a 65% chance of rain. So 65% falls between 50% and 75%. Because it's bigger than 50% and almost 75%, it's bigger than this, it's closer here, we're going to go with that it's likely to occur. So 65% is more than 50, So it's closest to 75%, so it is likely to happen. And the last one is chance of sun is 50%. Well, we know 50%. It could happen, and maybe it won't happen. So 50-50 shot, right? So it's 50-50% of sun or no sun. 50-50 shot. Okay, we are going to go ahead now and do your own experiment where you're going to use the chart and you're going to do a try it and see if you can answer the questions using the chart. There we go. Okay. Try it number 1 says, what is the probability that you land a jump on a snowboard? The probability that you land a jump on a snowboard is 1/10 chance. 1 out of 10. Okay, 1 out of 10. Or you can convert this to a percentage and think of it as 10%. Okay, so the probability that you land a jump on a snowboard is 1 out of 10. What's the likelihood? So use the chart to tell me the likelihood of landing the jump. Number 2. Number 2 says there is a 100% chance the temperature less than 120 degrees Fahrenheit. There is a 100% chance that the temperature will be less than 120 degrees. Okay, go ahead and answer both of these questions using your chart, the likelihood chart. And then when you are ready, come on back to the Google Meet and we will go over your answers. All right, so 1 out of 10 can be thought of as like 10% because I can take 1 out of 10, multiply it by 10 over 10, and that gives me 10 out of 100, or 10%. I can also think about this as fractions, right? 1/10, if this was cut into 10 pieces, 1/10 is like way down here close to impossible. But it's not impossible because there is part of a chance that you could do it. The chance, though, is unlikely. It's unlikely that you will land the jump on the snowboard. However, there is still a 10% chance. Okay, down here, number 2. The likelihood is 100%. We haven't done a 100% chance yet. That means that it is certain. We are 100% certain that the temperature will be less than 120. So it is certain, we are certain with 100%, we can guarantee this 100% of the way that it will be 120 degrees less than 100% chance less than 120 degrees. Okay, go ahead and now answer your essential question. How do we describe the likelihood of something happening? How do we describe the likelihood of something happening? And where are you at with using the chart? Where are you at with using the scale? Can you use the scale? Can you convert to percentages? Are you able to find the number on the chart and give it a rating? Put your number out to the side. What's the likelihood that you could use that scale to answer questions. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, it is now time to either go back to the Google Meet and ask for help or go on and do your practice work. As always, I appreciate all of your hard work and effort, and make it a great day.